sometimes
bit
though,
diplomatic.
I mean, that's the thing. We mentioned before, confrontation could be good. Maybe if we were all a little bit more like Slacks, then the Mental Health Institute would be reaming in the money right now.
That is probably definitely very true. That does make a lot of sense. Something that might not make as much of a sense, at least to me, is the fact that they went for this Drow Ranger now with the Mag Wind Ranger. So sort of opting for the anti-synergy here. With the Magnus, of course, sure you get the damage from the Empower, but as we all know, range heroes do not benefit from cleave.
But if they did,
Oh, if they did, I mean that'd be
oh,
something else.
there we go. See, look, if they did, it's actually quite a weird one.
That's sort of a snappy Viper pick. I mean, to me at least, this is a little bit curious to me. Going for the Magnus. I mean, sure, the Sven, the PA, and the Anti Mage did get removed, but there are other options here for Magnus combos. I just find it curious that they're not going to utilize this Empower at all. I mean, by the looks of things, I'm not even sure if Empire are they just missing their position 5. Then they're gonna hold their 5 for the last pick. I'm just
So this is another thought. Of course, Slasher, he's always given us the best of guides in the Dota 2 community. Of course, he did recently point out Viper 5. This could be a thing. I mean,
I
being
am
realistic about this, I have seen Viper 5 from CIS teams before.
I am baffled to say the least here. I'm stunned.
And if you're confused, right?
Yes, and imagine what
HellRaisers is
HellRaisers
confused.
they're just like, what the hell?
But then imagine if Team Empire is even more confused.
Yeah, I mean the teammates of Eknart, they're just like, yo, that Empower doesn't work on range heroes, and he's like, huh?
Mm-hmm. Just picks Puck to round
Nani?
out the draft and smiles to
Nani?
himself. I'm just picturing the room on fire, and he just got the very emoticon type smiley face going on.
You got this is fine.
It's an upside down smiley face. It's even better. There we
Right.
go. I mean, I'm wondering how they're gonna round this out. Like in theory, this
It's
is
an ogre.
that's what I'm about to say. It's his hero, right? What's it gonna be?
Yeah.
I don't want to say no Warlock, but what his Warlock performances recently have been awkward.
I would not like to see Warlock. Oh, I
Oh,
do remember that game.
that was a
Yeah,
sad,
please.
sad game. I mean, that's a
That
sad
was a
series.
sad Warlock. Yeah, that was a very sad series. That was the 10-minute game, right?
Yeah, they GG'd out 11 minutes. It was against Mud
Yeah,
Golems. Mud Golems actually,
right,
ironically enough, had the Viper on 33.
right.
But luckily, that's what this was. Egnar was like, nah, I ain't falling for that again. It's our hero now. We're going to work out exactly where you run each of these. Because I think these could still be like Viper off lane, Magnus mid. There's some potential flex, but likely we're going to
Right.
see the Viper in the mid.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends. Potentially you can just keep it open. It just seems awkward because by the looks of things, it does look like they are kind of lacking a 5. And saving that for last pick just seems a little bit strange. But if you know what you want to do, then you know what you want to do.
I think they've done this before as well. I think they've done that in the game where they picked the Warlock. So they'll go for the ET. Now the question
Okay,
is,
so they're
who's
kind of
forward?
taking a page out of the Mud Golem book here potentially. I mean, that was the Viper ET the lane against the
It scarred
Spectre.
them. It scarred them so deeply that they've just like tried to become it at this point.
Yeah, it's just kind of begs to like answer the question whether Magnus is gonna be a 5 or a mid or. I mean, I'm confused at least. So
hmm I mean, I'm still holding out on the Viper being a support. The ET is a free, and wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Staple gun came to play.
see, this is where I feel like you should make your predictions because I feel like
Hmm.
at this point when it's like
Oh, this
when
is
all
my
sort
type
of
of game. Okay.
yeah when like, it's like
you know,
like when you throw logic out the window, then it's like KP,
oh,
what do you got?
thank you, honey. I
What do you
feel
got,
really,
man?
really kind of, compliment there. It's like, yo, KP, you're brain damaged. How does this one look to you? Like, wow, I don't know. This could easily be the Viper
I
support.
don't know.
I don't know where we're going with this one. They should have picked a gyrocopter. All right,
Yeah, and it
so
does look like it's gonna be the mid Magnus then, and it is gonna be the Viper ET, no, or Viper Wind Ranger lane. Okay, well,
I
it's gonna
think
be
it's
mid
the
Magnus
Viper.
regardless.
It should be Viper Wind Ranger, and then it should be
Okay.
ET Drow.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Because
So
Petashar is a free, if I'm correct.
yeah, I don't know. It seems very strange to me, just kind of putting the Magnus mid. Of course, at least it makes a little bit sense now because Magnus can at least himself and farm that way. The position 3 Magnus can do it too. It's just you just don't benefit as much from it. But
Got it. So we're
he could
playing pub
maybe
game Magnus.
he can buff up the ET, the position 5, and
Actually,
he's gonna become the real carry in this game. Maybe that is the plan.
I mean, keep in mind, like actually, Lightless is the one, right? But I haven't seen much Urari. I think whenever I've like occasionally seen him when I'm searching the Dota TV, he usually plays the one, which is why I'm thinking they're going to run the mag mid.
No, I'm thinking it should be mag mid. I don't think the idea of draw against Lina mid sounds very pleasant.
Can I just point out that this is the problem with CIS region, guys? This right here is the goddamn problem. All these shuffles, all these jugglings around, right? Never some consistency, so the teams never develop. And I'm not just this angry because they kicked Natty Narwhal.
You're definitely this angry because they kicked Natty Narwhal.
Damn it! It's a good name. Strong name.
Natty was definitely it's up there with the better of them in terms of nicknames, I'd say.
Like, I don't want to shame him, but Rari, there's your comparison. Now, he may be a very good player, but he's not called Natty Narwhal.
He's not. What if we just called him Natty anyways? Do you think he'd be? Would he be upset?
I very highly doubt he watches the EU broadcast, the English broadcast. So yes, we
Right.
could just call him Natty. All right, so this
Natty.
is Natty. He's playing a different area this time around. So
Natty, Rari, it's all the same.
Tomatoes. It's like when someone calls lifesteal an aches,
It's like a potato, watermelon. It's just the same, right?
Exactly. They're all edibles, You could technically, like, they're both humans, so you could eat either of them. It counts. It works.
They're human.
I mean, in real life, I assume they're human. Unless I've been pressed.
Wait, are you talking about the
Empire have
players or
managed
the
to-
potatoes and watermelon? I'm confused.
Humans can be potatoes in their own special way.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they're humans at the keyboards. Unless Empire have achieved something impressive and have managed to train a cat to play Dota.
Yeah, or maybe AI.
Nope, we're sticking with cat because AI
Okay.
technically would be cheating.
Okay, fair enough.
That's like
what about
me
having
saying if I have an aimbot in CS:GO. Oh, guys, wow! Have you heard about Complexity's new roster? They recruited bots.
What about cats or dogs? Would that be cheating? Like, does it state anywhere that it has to be a human playing the game?
I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of the time my teammates assume I'm a dog, so I think it's all fair game at this stage.
It's all fair game, he says. Alrighty then. So we are gonna have just the Wind Ranger Viper lane up here against the Spectre, who is not gonna get all that much help from this Vengeful, but we'll see what he can do.
Probably more than the Warlock. We're gonna keep referencing that game. That was the biggest beatdown of this tournament we've had. But yeah, Non-Grata will do.
It's one of the bigger
multiples best.
beatdowns,
In
I
general.
think that have happened in quite a while here. I do expect though. I feel like this lane should not be all that pleasant for Magnus. He should be tanking a lot of these stuns, and
It's kind of that case of any sort of extra gold you put into regen early on, right? Like, you'll get it back from farming. Of course, Lina can farm as well, but her mana pool is more of a limiter, whereas you just empower and hit creeps.
yeah, it's just the gold that you're getting from the creeps. Is it gonna be enough versus the kind of damage you're taking from the harassment here? We'll see how it goes. I feel like Lina should be one of the better heroes, I think, against Magnus.
Of course, the big issue as the game goes on is Lina becomes very vulnerable, right? Like, that's something we have to
Definitely.
highlight about HR's lineup. You got swap, sure, but like you don't really have a front line because your Spectre's likely to haunt and jump the back line, right? So there is this risk that Empire just runs forward into you when you initiate these big team fights.
Yeah, I mean, you do have that swap though, like, and you also have this kind of Void Spirit and Spectre to kind of make a lot of chaos. So I feel like the Lina is decently guarded here, and it's also it's not super easy to get on top of this Lina. I think if like with good positioning, I think should be just fine. However, it does look like Magnus, for now at least, is doing just fine in terms of CS. But once Lina gets a few more levels, the nukes are going to start to hurt a bit more.
Mimo non-grata will sacrifice him to the great god Gaben and his neutrals. And Petishara is having a very slow but somewhat painful death. As the dagger comes out, he'll be chased down. And I don't know if the one's enough to keep you alive, but he's still going to give the first blood over. That was awkward. Not often you see a Spectre get the first blood that way.
No, especially not on his own, kind of. And just, sure, the Venge should go down earlier, but yeah, giving away the kill to the Spectre this early is a little bit scary here.
Rari in the bot lane is going to take a crap ton of pressure. I mean, he'll get away. It's just the damage they're going to do to him on the way out. Fairy Fuck just about keeps him up. I'm not sure about this ET Drow combo against this so far. Feels more pressured than pressuring, shall we say.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, like, once the lane is to this point, now they're going to get a pull off at least, but okay, the Rari's curve just died to something.
Wait, was that? Oh no. I think it might have been the pull.
Oh no.
Wait, didn't they fix? I could have sworn they fixed that. All right. Well, Longra will go down the top lane in the meantime. Questions already being asked in our mind.
What is Eknart going to do?
That's our theme for this game. How's Eknart gonna? Oh, he's Roman at level 2. Let's see. I mean, this is a hero he can roam with level 2. I'll give him that much at least. He's gonna get Cliff. He's gonna. Oh no, they don't even want to cliff him. They just want to kill him. And he'll try and get the stun out, but it won't work.
Yeah, so Xani, he doesn't get the rune there. It spawns on the top, and the winner gets an illusion, but at least he gets the kill. And he's slightly ahead of the Magnus in terms of net worth right now.
Yeah, and considering Mag just ran all the way back, you don't feel too bad about this no bot situation. Worst case scenario.
No, I think you're. Yeah, but I feel like even the Magnus, he's actually, I think he's better off than I would have anticipated him to be. I think. I don't know, potentially he's just pushing the lane.
Yep, he's gone. It's a painful death. Nice to risk it, right? Like that. I like the way that Eknart plays that. He goes down, but he immediately identifies actually Rubik isn't going to rotate back towards bot very quickly. We can kill him. Meanwhile, on the top, Dyrachia goes down. What started off in favor of Spectre is very quickly becoming Viper's game, as you'd expect with this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty much tied in terms of net worth right now, so I think Spectre, sure, you go down, but you're off to a pretty good start anyways. I mean, all of these cores right now, they're very close, these 4 heroes together, the Spectre to Magnus there. It's all just kind of neck and neck, with the Lina just pulling slightly ahead of the others.
And who do you think, like, which side do you think is kind of more content with that, right? To sit back and allow this kind of medium of let's both farm?
I feel like HR should be in a better position. They have the Spectre, they have this Void Spirit to make a lot of chaos, and kind of the Draw Ranger wants to be somewhat ahead. Just playing against Spectre as Draw it can be really scary. The one cool thing is, of course, they have this Viper. So Spectre might need to get a BKB in this game. I mean, there's both ET and the Viper, right? So yeah, the Nether Toxin and the Natural Order. So a lot of your kind of magic and physical damage resistance is going to be gone. They are going to make an attempt here onto Petishara, but I think Dyrachia is just dead again.
You say attempt on the Petishara. I'm pretty sure when you're initiating onto him, that's his form of initiating onto you.
Yeah, I mean, trying to kill a Viper it can be a very dangerous endeavor.
It's in a lot of ways, it's kind of the core comparative for something like a Skywrath or an Undying, right? It's like, great, we've killed him. When he comes back, he'll be full health, full mana, and then you look at your own health pool, and you're like, oh god, what have we done?
Yeah, I mean, he can be quite the bully.
Kind of has to be. Relies on a lot. That's why we see a lot of teams, like when you get those Viper matchups in the mid, they just double down on the outer lanes a lot of the time, right? Like, okay, we admit that mid is kind of going to be a loss. We'll deal with it later.
Yeah, I mean, Viper, of course, has one of the, can have a very strong early game if he gets off to a decent start. Of course, you don't want to play Viper from behind, but But when you go off to this decent start, he's quite a strong hero. However, this hero with
They're trying to
deaths,
catch him from behind, but like Kasani rotated up here. However, Lightless made the move as well. And they're the ones who get the kill. Whoops. I mean, Kasani just looks very awkward right now.
yeah, he's sort of just floating around with this Invis rune, and
This might be obvious. Fedishar will turn around, tank it all. He couldn't get the Viper Strike out though, but now the Shackle Shot out. Nice lift interruption to ensure that there's no IRP coming out from Lightless.
yeah, and I think this, I don't know, I feel like this rotation is kind of awkward for Oksani. I think, you know, Lightless is just, he was just farming during most of this, and
Tom doesn't connect. Eknar in trouble as well, trying to run this one off. That's going to be close to trying to escape this. They throw down the ward to get the vision. Nongrada's got the magic missile. He can't get it out though, and Lightless will skewer one back. Nongrada gets brought back to Pedishar's waiting arms. So you can even call those arms. Viper Strike gets thrown out onto Kasani. Shackle Shot to ensure there's not too much nuke. The damage is already done. The Viper is dead. Now Sayu in trouble as well. Stomp to try and save the day, but the lift comes out. Lasts long enough that the reinforcements are there with the stun to get the kill on the Wind Ranger.
yeah, okay, now they kind of just made this rotation worth it for him. He was just kind of wasting a lot of time up there, walking around with this Invis rune, but by bringing all these numbers and feeding away all these kills, they sort of managed to make his rotation worth it for him. I think they could have just backed off and they would have been just happy with whatever was going on. The Magnus would just go back to farming, and the Lina had kind of wasted a lot of time.
Yeah, that's
Well,
kind
in
of
the
the peculiar
end-
part, right? Like, because when that first kill happens, you're like, okay. I mean, after that, you just back away. Lightless has a TP, so you can instantly go back mid, while Kasani TP'd up there. So obviously they don't know that for sure because Kasani didn't have the Invis rune. I guess maybe that's the kind of moment where we look and go, okay, we have God's sight, we can see everything.
Yeah, and I was just looking at this bottom lane. I was just watching creeps in this bottom lane just attacking each other, and no one actually is willing to come here. Now Lightless finally TP'd bottom. But, you know, Spectre's just like, he's jungling in kind of the triangle. It's not the fastest farm, and the Drow is also just jungling here. He's a little bit spooked from the potential like Void Spirit plus Spectre kind of combo rotation. So it's somewhat understandable, but just, yeah, you want to have at least one hero to occupy this lane.
I guess the bigger priority is like when you start taking towers, who's going to start taking towers? I mean, HR, they've smoked up. So looking to take control of the area, and with Funnick having level 7, he's able to get on top of Eknar pretty quickly in time for the runes. They should be able to get both of these top ones. Actually, both of the bot ones at this rate as well.
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna be able to get pretty much all runes here. I mean, there's still one.
Petushara in a lot of trouble, does get found out, and that's awkward. He hasn't cast Nevertox in a while. They just gave over the Viper Strike to Lil. Lil will throw out the Viper Strike, but Lightless has that ace, so he doesn't care too much. They could still look for an RP play, but they decide against going too deep too quickly.
Yeah, and I mean, this is kind of the tricky part with a hero like Viper, where, yes, he got off to, I mean, sure, he went down as the first blood there, but then he kind of gets back into the lane, and he gets some kills, but now he's all of a sudden, he's died 3 times, and his net worth is kind of just, you know, it's falling down, and when Viper stops being this difficult hero to kill, when he just becomes another hero, then you kind of lose a lot of your purpose.
Yeah, it kind of feels like they invested too heavily in this notion, right? Like at the moment they saw one death happen, they instantly felt this need to kind of counter that with getting a kill, right? Whereas you can kind of recover from that one rotation, because as we already highlighted, that rotation top from both teams was awkward.
And potentially here, yeah, okay, they're trying to find the kill there, but
I mean, they'll sell for the tower though. That's the tier 1 gone, which is going to open up the map substantially. There is see rotations towards the bot lane. They're trying to punish this Spectre, skewer in with the Shackle Shot being on point, and they will not hesitate to commit the RP to ensure that they close out that kill.
yeah, and of course it's definitely worth it going for, you know, like committing to killing the Spectre. However, now both of them are without force.
What is the price? The price might be high.
Yeah, they're gonna bring in a lot of heroes here.
They want the kill. Nongrada is being brought low, but they get the Magnus first.
Sani,
they
though.
move away with the swap. Kisani has to be swapped out again as Nongrada almost killed him, and it looks like he might still go down at this rate. They're going to lose the bench. Sidestep. They don't hit with the arrow, and it looks like Lean is out there.
Oh. That was a very, very clutch port there from Sani.
Some
just
awkward
barely makes it out. And I mean, in the kind of that little tree line there.
the
it was-
finite spot, the only spot where he would not be seen by the Viper who's coming in from one side and the rest of the side of Empire from the other. Good lord.
It's a very clutch port there.
What's this TP about? Are they just mocking each other for everyone missing shackle shots?
And now they, they go down there. They manage to kill the Spectre, but he's back to farming up top now. He's also going for this kind of just early game items. He queued up the Blade Mail. I think it's a pretty cool choice. He just wants to go in and tank a bunch of damage and then, deal damage through dispersion and through just being in the fight. And I think if HR just use all their spells, if they just click all their buttons and, don't, for some reason, miss them completely, I think they should be doing quite well in these fights for the next 10 minutes or so at least, before the they need the Echo Saber Blink on the Magnus. They might even need a potential BKB on the Drow. It's just I'm liking kind of where HR are at right now.
Yeah, you kind of gave me these variables that need to be in place for Empire. Those are going to take time. Well, as you highlight, HR, they just kind of go. There's nothing to really stop them from going. I mean, Alina already has her Yules, so she can actually find pickoffs. You'll probably have a second Yules before you know it on Funnick as well. And the synergy between these two heroes, Yules, is pretty damn scary, actually, for the Drow, especially in this game.
Yeah, and Xani is also he's just queuing up this Shadow Blade, so he's gonna be pretty difficult to bring down. It's kind of like both of these items are both defensive and offensive, right? Both the Yules and the Shadow Blade, they can be used for either purpose. So bringing him down, like with the swap also there to back him up, it's gonna be difficult.
Pretty decent game for a Silver Edge as well against the Viper. Well, it was already starting to have a bit of a shaky game, only 13 minutes in.
Yeah, something we might potentially see down the line if it gets that far.
Now we're just seeing some scouting around. Got these two farmers just going out at top. The difference, of course, is that if a fight breaks out in the mid, Empire's going to be out without their big initiation tool, while Eknat and Co on the side, they're going to be stuck having to deal with the Haunt coming in from the other side of the map.
Yeah, the Spectre, of course, feels quite comfortable just sitting up here. Sure, the Magnus is there and a little bit annoying, but you're just gonna happily farm anyways, and you can go into the jungle if you want to. You can easily join any fights. And HR they're gonna try to pressure this bottom tower here. It's not the fastest push by any means. Of course, the Lina is.
Oh,
they're gonna find the Windrunner here.
They decide against it though. It looked like Lil wouldn't be able to reach it. He's trapped in the trees.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the fact that once the stun hits, right, the trees, it takes a few moments for the vision to get there, and by that time it's a little bit slow. It's too easy for the Windrunner to back off. It's also a level 1 stun from Lina, so it's not the longest duration.
They're going for the kill. They use the Haunt to ensure it, and that means they got 5 heroes down here to push this tier 2 tower now. Kind of an awkward situation for Empire as well. They're not really in a position for any sort of counter objective either.
No, at the same time, they did bring all the numbers down here. Now the Spectre is here, and Lina doesn't really want to be here anymore.
Well, it's fine. She's going to find her way towards the mid lane instead, where there's additional kills to be had as Eknat will be picked off.
Yeah, I mean, if they manage to get this, they're going to pretty much just get this bottom tower, and it's going to be all good and dandy for them.
Yeah, they sacrificed the Venge, but well worth to get that tier 2 tower. Now they don't really have any reason to play bot, which means, in the next 10 minutes, you're probably going to see HR play around the top side of the map, which will just rob Empire of any opportunity to try and sneak a Roche at some point.
Yeah, I mean, the Spectre, he just gets to port back top. He's going to finish his Blade Mail now, and he's going to be pretty much ready to fight once he gets his Haunt back up. HR is probably just going to, defend these.
Defend or attack? They look like they want to attack. Swap up. Petishar is brought towards the target. Use the Viper Strike on. That's not how you do this. Oh, no. They're going to turn around and punish Viper, but it's not enough. And now Funnick needs to be careful himself. All his spells are on cooldown. Rari just gets to hit him from afar, and it's enough to bring him down as well. Meanwhile, on the side, the Stomp comes out. Eknat needs to run away from the Spectre. But now RP charged up to hold on to. Not going to throw it out that easily, and there are going to be some questions asked about what the hell that swap was.
Yeah, Nongrada's going to be kicking himself a little bit there. I mean, he thought that they were just gonna go kill this Viper, but Alina was taking too much damage. The power shot there kind of clipped him, and you know, all of a sudden he was just, yeah, there was nothing left of him anymore.
Definitely some questionable moments. I mean, it's not often that a teammate gets Viper striked and they then scream to you, "Get that Viper closer to me."
Yeah, and I'm curious now with this double damage, are they gonna attempt this Roche? I mean, it wouldn't be the first time today even that we've seen a team get this early double damage, just go into the pit, draw with both the empower and the double damage now.
I mean,
They are
no
going in
reason
here.
not to. Remnant comes out, does clip onto Pedishar, and Nongra has to be careful himself. And
Yeah, I think this is reason enough to not kind of commit to this idea. Just go back to getting some creeps and you're gonna be fine. Duraccio he does have his ult now in 20 seconds, but he's a little bit low, so joining the fight might be slightly awkward for him.
Meanwhile, the smoke from Empire is going to break in the mid lane. Phonic's the one who breaks it. That's not a viable target. They didn't even know exactly where he was. They're still scouting around for that spec that you mentioned, but Duraccio, he's so far away. This feels wasted.
Yeah, and Lil right now actually has this Nether Toxin stolen. Although it's only level 1, it's still kind of a nice spell to just have against, you know, the Viper, and even against, I think it should work against the Drow Ranger.
Yeah, to eliminate the marksmanship procs.
Yep.
Definitely has decent value in this game. Works against ET as well. Whoop, speaking of ET, he gone. Yule's coming out. Void Spirit should be able to move away. The Skewer is interrupted with the lift. Laguna to get him low. Lightless needs and wait RP, but he can't. He has to move away. The Horde to disrupt the fight. Pedishar chased on 2 next. They've already lost Rubik on the side to that Viper. RP's going to come out now. Spectre's Blade Mail has ran out. They'll run him down and kill him off. And now they're looking for more. Pedishar trying to chase forward, but Funnick slows him enough. Is able to limp away quickly on the side. But that was HR's fight to try and take. And in the end, it backfires pretty heavily.
Yeah, I mean, they just kind of overcommitted there. The Spectre just went in. The Blade Mail was not really enough damage. With the Dispersion, of course, dealing some of that damage, but it's just, in the end, it's not enough. Lil, he got caught a little bit early in the fight there and was not able to deal all that much damage that he kind of wanted to and needed to be able to take that fight.
You know, like the bigger deal is, even though it's only 1,000 gold shift, it's the fact you use the Haunt now, right? Like, yeah, they use the RP, but who's relying on which more? I definitely feel like it's HL that needs that big ultimate more, as we're seeing another pick off. Rari's able to find Non-Grata. They might try and just force this tier 2 push at this rate.
Yeah, and while he's no natty narwhal, definitely having a good performance in this game, and now at least the 2 top kind of farmers in this game are on the side of Empire. So,
as you'd expect with a Magnus draft.
Yeah, I mean, both the Magnus and the Drow. Also now that Magnus with the Blink and the Echo Saber, he's queuing up the BKB. I mean, they're gonna have a pretty decent window where they're gonna be strong once he gets this BKB, and once Drow gets to, you know, it looks like it's gonna be the Manta. They're gonna have some spike there where if they could potentially sneak a Roche, I think they could be in a kind of a nice position. Maybe not fully winning, but definitely not bad.
And that Manta can screw with a lot of these kind of abilities, right? Like, you can dodge out the LSA potentially. Magic Missile's very easy to dodge. Even like the Remnant situation, you can block up illusions. So when you think about reliable CC that HR has, it declines heavily. However, if they get him before he gets the Manta, that's different. Difference is that he just has a Gust, and that's able to get him away.
Yeah, that Gust, the knockback is quite nice there against, you know, these melee attackers.
Oh, Non-Grata been found. LSA, Eknart trying to get the stomp out. He does get it out in time, but he will still go down. And Non-Grata is living so far. The Essence Ring serves him well. Pedishara chasing forward on the other side. Movement away by Funnick should be successful. So you could chase him down with the wind run now. He's going to pursue forward, but that means he sells Pedishara upriver as HR are just waiting to purchase that kill.
Yeah, and Magnus kind of used his blink there earlier to try to get closer to the fight, so it was not ready, and also Skewer was on cooldown, so couldn't really get in there and kind of catch the Lina when she was trying to kill the Viper.
Feels like Empire maybe, I don't want to say too scared, but they seemed very reluctant to take that fight straight up, right? Like, I guess it's the looming threat, but you're already a little bit behind, and there's always a Spectre with a Haunt again who can just arrive and cause havoc.
Yeah, I think they wanted to kind of fight there. I think the Viper just got caught off a little bit too early, a little bit too much on his own, and the Magnus, he was not able to reach that fight with the blink ready, so he couldn't really do anything there. And once the Viper's dead, there's just no point in kind of trying to take that fight.
Well, you kind of have this awkward issue where looking at Alina, who's Shadowblade ready to go. So initiation-wise, HR, they don't have to rely entirely on the spec anymore to get in deep. Now they can try and snipe out the easy picks, maybe like on the supports with Kasani alone.
Yeah, definitely he could go for kills on whether it's the Drow Ranger or the ET, some decent targets. As Lightless is, yeah, he's getting close to that BKB now. Only the recipe off. And once he gets this BKB, he's gonna be quite strong for quite a bit of time here.
Like, who do you think's gonna ultimately be more reliant on their cooldowns though as this game goes on? Like, does it remain this factor of spec has to get huge value out of the Horn, or do you think the RP is so pivotal that misusing it could cause Empire the rest of the fights?
I think the RP, getting a good RP off in this game is very difficult. You're up against both Rubik and Venge. So Rubik, you have to be mindful of, he's gonna try to steal this RP. Vengeful can always swap out a bunch of guys, and it's also the fact that you're up against Spectre with Haunt, right? So the Haunt in these fights makes it very difficult for Magnus to actually land RPs. I mean, if he does manage to, I think the fights could be kind of clean, but...
I mean, apparently the Haunt doesn't matter that much. He's willing to use it just to scout out.
Yeah, I think they were looking to take the fight, but I'm not entirely sure. Some perhaps miscommunication there.
I might have a simpler explanation.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops! I spilled monster all over my keyboard. Oh no! I hit the R key. Oh no!
Ah, damn it. Yeah, I mean, also a possibility.
Irregularity for me.
That's why you play position 4 though, so it's like, it's okay.
Most of the time,
just
my R
wasted
button's not that
Echo.
important.
You just wasted Echo Slam. It's not a problem.
That's more like, oh no, I wasted Culling Axe. What a shame. Wait, no,
Right.
I didn't, because I wasn't clicking the creep. Easy. Just like killing Non-Grata. Man, they just make these Venge kills look so delicious. Almost as delicious as my Mango logo. That's a delicious kill, though. The RP connects on the Duraccio. Stun him up for a long time. They don't have the skew, of course. Man to try and move away, but he has to stand and fight. Let's activates the BKB so he's not threatened, and they find that kill.
Yeah, and a lot of things kind of, turning up now for Empire. They managed to sneak this Roche. They get the kill on the Spectre. Venge, just kind of a bonus. But yeah, I mean, Magnus now with the BKB, he's strong, and Drow Rangers getting close to this Pike. Top of the Manta.
I mean, I think he got the wrong order as well. Like, Non-Grata dies first, so he's not really the bonus, because bonuses come afterwards, right? He's the appetizer.
Yeah, it's more of the fact that, like, the Venge is just, it's kind of it's a kill, but it's also a...
He's the appetizer, my friend. That's what it is. Huh? Well,
Yeah, I mean, and I feel like that's the bonus, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not bonus in the sense that he's after. It's just, it's a kill that you don't really care about.
Sure, but like
you'll take it.
My point is this, right? Bonuses come afterwards.
I rest my case.
Whereas he was killed before. All right, I'm gonna argue this technicality until I'm dead. You get your salary and then you get a bonus.
I give up.
Yes, that's a good enough victory for me. I beat a TI contender. Non-Grata. God, he's not looking like a TI contender there. Gets melted through straight away. I'm gonna mark this one. Actually, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna clip it. This is a very important moment for me, Pajkatt. In future arguments, people are like, "Well, you don't know enough." I was like, "Well, actually, I do." Because look, I got this TI contender, 5-time TI almost champion, to admit that I was right and he was wrong.
I never said that you were right and I was
sorry.
wrong.
Is your name Kyle? Are we backpedaling now?
No, I just said that I rest my case.
Your case it's rested, kind of like, but it's not ET levels of case. Okay, it's not like I'm gonna hit you around the face. That case is gonna
No,
hurt.
I'm
It's
just
like,
saying. I just felt like the discussion was no longer worthwhile because it's like
oh, I see how it is. So you think I'm not worth anymore?
I'm just saying that like beating someone,
So,
in an
no,
argument,
finish that sentence.
like I just,
Oh.
let's,
All right,
let's,
pause
let's
that
not go
sentence. We've
there.
got a fight going on. Say is in trouble. RP comes out into the 2, and there is going to be steal there. He only gets the skewer, though. And they get the leaner. Oh, horn. Okay, that's... He's horn.
Hey man, kill's a kill.
Dude, this is like the most loose I've ever seen a Spectre with horns. Like, that was worth it.
I mean, a kill's a kill, right? It's another 300 gold.
Sure, if you feel like you're not going to fight for 160 seconds, that's worth.
Hey man, it's 140. Okay, he's level 18.
Ooh, actually, you're wrong there. When he used it, it was 160.
Was it though?
Pretty sure it was, because I checked it and it was over 140 when he used the horn. And the horn duration is 7 seconds, which coincides in the cooldown.
Yeah, but was it though?
I think it was.
Alright, I just had to try it one more time.
Like, I'm pretty sure it was. You ain't gonna have me doubt myself on this, Poe. What the hell is this crap?
I mean, just as long as you know, right?
I know that you know that I know.
Lil here potentially might
Does
be in a little bit of trouble here.
Petishara know, though? Because you think Lil's in trouble.
There's a skewer, and Lil,
He's not in trouble.
he just auto busts his way.
Meanwhile, on the backside of the
there.
fight, Phonic is having a party with himself, and no one else is invited. Only Radiant Heroes. Meanwhile, on the other side, they're going to try and bring one down low. Petishara still hanging in there, refusing to die. The BKB activated by Lights to chase forward and Duraccio, but immediately realizes that's a big mistake, and it's about to run out, so he needs to retreat faster than this. Meanwhile,
in the
deep
end...
in the fight, what? No, oh my god, he's still going for it. Like,
Oh, wait,
read
what's
the room,
Wrench
Non-Grana. It's over.
That's not your base, buddy.
I think this is the moment where you just kind of go, you grab your keyboard and you extract the R key and then put it to the side of the keyboard.
Yeah, and we can see here that the Duraccio, he's queued up this BKB here, right? He's fed up with the ET stomps and with the nether toxin and all of these, the shackles and silences, etc. He's had it. He wants to get this BKB. He's gonna drop his Wraith. Okay, it's gonna be picked up. Phew.
All right, hear me out on this though. You built this BKB. Do you not still have this issue where everyone just ignores you in the fights?
Yes, that is kind of what I'm thinking, and that's why I was, thinking he might go for something like, the Diffusal. He had queued up the Basher previously, but yeah, I mean, he just wants to be survivable. The thing is, if he somehow gets them to focus him, then he will deal some damage, but maybe easier said than done. We'll see. You can of course still deal some damage.
Horn, they've caught the big one. Rari skewed far, far away from safety. Now they're trying to run him down to half HP. He's got the Manta, but no chance to use it. He gets shotgun down. Kisai gets hit by the Shackle Shot, though. Save cannot do the damage. Duracho has that BKB to run through and kill off the wind range, and he's getting max value out of this Magic Immunity as they close out the third kill. Only 2 members of Empire left alive, and they're running for the high ground.
Yeah, Xani there also with the BKB. I mean, the thing in that fight there was that the BKB was flying out to the Draw Ranger. Just completed it, but didn't have it, and so he just gets swapped in and dealt with rather quickly. And yeah, now HR, they're gonna find even more here. Lightless should be fine here. He's got the BKB. If he needs it, probably not gonna need to use it.
No, but meanwhile on your base, someone else is not so lucky. Eknar's in a bit of trouble here. Manta dodge, not successful. Eknar might just about get away with this. I think this is the moment where you back up, get some vision down, and think about maybe roasting.
Yeah, it's gonna respawn relatively soon here. And now you see the Spectre, he's gonna get to this Eye of Skadi relatively quickly. Even after that, just buying the BKB just a few moments ago, he's already close to his first ultimate orb, and it's not gonna take him that long to get to the Skadi. And once he hits the Skadi, it's gonna be pretty difficult for the Straw Ranger to stay alive in these fights, as Sure, he's got the Pike to relocate himself, but he doesn't have a Venge to swap him out, and the Spectre can quite easily chase you down with the BKB and Scotty and the dagger spam.
Feels like the issue here is that they need to be initiating first. They need to be finding Lina, right? Because I think that was a big concern over the BKB for the Spectre. It's like, great, you can't die. What about Kasani? And the reason that last fight goes so well is because he's more or less completely unpressured with the way they initiate that.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, that's also about like this game is one of initiations, right? And if you look at how these two teams start fights, right, it's so much easier for HR to actually start these fights. Like Empire, they need to have this Windrunner pretty much run around and like throw out some shackle shot or some random RP, and these scenarios don't occur so often because it's too easy for HR to push these lanes with the Void Spirit, with the Lina, even the Spectre, who feels quite safe pushing out lanes because they need a lot of heroes to bring him down. And even if they they don't have that many stuns, right? It's kind of hard for him to tank a stun. He can dodge shackle shot and a lot of these spells. So
I don't know if Lil can dodge the skank though. They move in, they find him, he's gone. Haunts try and get into the fight. Buyback comes out from Rubik. Now they're going to try and top of Seiyu. Trying to bring him down quick enough. Phoenix able to cut through him. RP on the side. Lilas has found the big boy. Spectre being brought down. Rory has his BKB to protect him. Moving in. RP stolen by Lil. Stuns up on the Drow. Dratchko trying to return the damage, but he's too low. He needs to move away. LSA Kasani drilling into Drow to try and bring him down quick enough. Forced up to try and get himself away from the fight, but it's too little too late. He is going to die. They're chasing forward looking for more, but they're going to have to counter out there. They'll be happy with that result, though. They get the kill in the Drow. They keep the Spec alive. The Lina doesn't have to die. Sure, it costs you some buybacks, but it's the cheaper ones. It's only your supports.
yeah, and two littles were kind of used in that fight, as he did have to buy back, but he manages to get back into the fight and steal the RP and return it. And with that, yeah, they managed to bring down the Drow. Sure, they forced out a buyback out of both the Vengeful Spirit and the Rubik, but in the end, you get 2 core kills, and most cooldowns were kind of traded, so you're pretty happy with it if you're HR.
Be
I think
more
this
happy if they
Roche
get
might
this.
be a little bit bold though.
I mean, right now, ET's
don't
just
know.
helping him out.
Yeah,
But, like, he does realize that there's an aura on that spirit, right?
yeah. Nah, in the end, it's gonna be just fine. It's gonna be an Aegis on the Lina, actually. Yeah, it's okay, I think.
Melmgra is hunt, by the way. I don't know if you can get the agnostic.
I mean, he is one angry vengeful. He does not mind dying.
It's
he gets
in the
to play
name, you know?
anyways. He gets to play the game even if he dies, right?
Like,
So,
look at his death count right now. There's a reason it's called Vengeful Spirit, okay? It's got a lot
That is-
to be very angry about.
I mean, his kill participation is still, it's up there, right?
How many of those are due to the illusion, though?
That is also a good question. I mean, the Wave of Terror, it tends to clip a couple.
Helping, wink. I mean, he's tanking the brunt of it. We'll give him credit on that.
Yeah, I mean, and it's kind of his job, It's fine to, as a Vengeful Spirit. I'm not saying that everyone, if you're playing Vengeful Spirit, you should just go around feeding, but kind of the nature of Position 5 Vengeful Spirit is, it's a very sacrificial role. You're basically just dying for the sins of your cores.
You're saying that everyone's experience is probably the boss 5 Venge that never swaps to save.
I have encountered a couple of the non-swapping Position 5 Vengefuls in my day.
There's quite a few of them, isn't there,
Yeah. They're just, nah, I want to live, bro. And then it's like, why are you feeding all the time? And then it's, well, hello.
I mean, at least the difference is they can't have that out that used to exist when they could level stats instead, right?
Oof.
And they're like, sorry, not leveled yet, or sorry, on cooldown.
Yeah, those days were good though. The anti-mage with the stats.
I need to focus on that. Luna with the stats as well. Who needs Lucent Beams?
Jog.
Mm.
That was something.
You just built Mask of Madness on like any hero with stats being leveled constantly. Oh, tasty.
Those were the days, my friend.
It's a long time ago. That was not far off though. Fight.
Yeah, now there is the Scotty completed on the Spectre. He also got this cheese, even
And they're gonna
the
go.
Paladin sword.
It's gonna come out. Drought so far at the base. The RP was still there on Lil. They've been waiting all this time to use it, and they find it on the primary target they wanted. BKB from Duraccio so you can chase him. Pedishara is way too slow. I mean, they say Viper's like a fortress, but this just looks like a slug. He's gone. Down for 60 seconds outside their base with 2 catapults coming in. I believe HR are going to take a generous donation of gold into their bank account, courtesy of Buildings Kirk.
Yeah, just the Viper there. I mean, he can barely move with the slow from the dagger and the Skadi from the Spectre.
RP on the 2, interrupted straight away by the supports on the side of HellRaisers. They chase it, they hit it off with the Earth Splitter, but it's not good enough. Mag's going to be brought low. You get the kill on the Venge, but at what cost? They're not done. They chase for more. Remnant is off the mark. The Buildings do not have the merciful wind run skill to run away from the damage that's coming their way.
Yeah, that's sort of the thing about the initiations in this fight, in this game, right? Like, how easy is it actually for HR to take these fights? You know, like the Magnus, he gets RP onto 2 cores, but he just gets lift, and yeah, the cores, you know, I'm not sure who, someone got swapped out. I think it was, I'm not sure if it was the Mag or someone else, but you know, there's a swap and there's a lift, and it's not that easy for them to take these fights.
And it's the pre-initiation as well, right? Of the Haunt every time. Like, okay, now you can't even counter-initiate in these fights.
Yeah, exactly. It's too simple, and you know, also just Funny kind of gets to do whatever he wants.
Well, Spectre, she's in a little bit of trouble. She gets caught next to the Nevertox, and she's just gone. They'll hunt for more. The Atos goes out into Lil, though. Dragon back, Remnant interrupts, but I don't know if it's enough to get him out. The dots were just too much. He was not able to blink away.
Yeah, you can see there, like, once the Vengeful is actually dead, then finding these targets is a lot easier. Of course, the Spectre maybe being slightly out of position there with the Windranger spawning and just tanking the shackle shot to the face.
Meanwhile, looking for solo kills. Panic don't need no team. See ya. And I believe that was a buyback previously. He'll just TP away, but the Atos will interrupt him. He has got enough time to escape here. Astral Steps coming off cooldown. However, the timing on the Gust is too good, and he's dead. LSA, Kasani whiffs it. Blade Mail comes out, but Pedishara isn't going to save you. However, the follow-up damage might kill off Kasani. Gets dragged away as he gets swapped out, but Linus moves on. BKB stands and fights. They're going to get on top of Lena and try and bring it down. Magic Me running out soon. Buyback comes out. Horn in, looking at it in the game right now. Rari will be able to TP away, but the Magnus is not so lucky, and that is going to be his dieback. Eknar in the tree line gets found as well, and only 1 left alive on the side of Empire. All right, 2, have it your way.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a difficult hole here for Perushara and Rari. And, yeah, they're just on their last legs here. There's going to be 3 heroes alive, though, and, I mean, you don't really want to lose your Spectre once again now.
No. Funnick, he's trying to force the fight. He's gone straight in. BKB gets activated. They'll bring down the ET. That's his dieback. Pedishara, they don't care. He's gone. That's going to be his dieback as well, and I mean, Rari, you still have a buyback, but you might be forced to use it at this rate. BKB, easily forced out. Funnick says goodbye. And Rari might say goodbye to this world if he's not careful himself.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to kill the Drow, but it's Mega Creeps, and yeah, I mean, they're just going to hit the Tier 4s and then the Throne, and the only one respawning soon is Sayo on the Windranger, but...
Oh, they ain't done. They're going to kill him too. Let's see. Peace. Like, where's the GG? Just tap it. All right, game 1. HellRaisers. Pretty cozy with the way they closed this one out. I love the way that kind of coincides with the kills and the supports towards the end there as well, right? Because, like, we see that that's the double dieback deaths. But it's such a crap location for Empire to get those kills. Because there's no immediate play for them afterwards, right? So it's like... Do you think that played into the way Empire then plays forward? Is that they feel if they don't get out on the map quickly and make something happen, then they don't even have that opportunity to look forward to where you've got dieback supports and we're pushing your base?
Yeah, I mean, I think they just realized that, you know, if they just play the game normally, what's going to happen is there's going to be another fight where they kind of get initiated more heroes, and they're not going to have buybacks, and, you know, HR could, if they wanted to, just wait for Roche, etc., blah, blah, but they don't really have to. They can kind of just overpower Empire, and it's just they can't really make anything happen, right? They have this win rate. Like, if you think about it, okay, how do HR make kills happen in this game, right? Any kind of combination of 2 heroes almost can make a lot of kills happen on most of these heroes. Whereas Empire, they need to use RP to get these kills, right? They have the Windrunner stun, but the Windrunner is kind of a little bit stuck on wave pushing duty. So it's not that easy for her to just run around. And the HR heroes, they don't have to show for very long in these lanes to be able to clear the creeps. So finding any of these kills is just not that easy for Empire with this lineup. And yeah, I'm just not sure. I thought I thought it looked a little bit awkward, and I feel like it was kind of awkward. Just the idea behind this, Magnus with the range heroes drafts.
Yeah.
This is kind of early is Magnus Spectre, Magnus Drow Ranger reveal, kind of just getting countered by the Spectre there, and yeah, it was. I don't know. It was a difficult game for Empire, I feel.
It's a fair point, right? Like they opened with this Magwind Ranger where he said we've seen that work as a combo in a lane, but like outside of that, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head with the way they have to do these fights, right? It's kind of like if you look at Team Empire's breakdown, it's like, all right, we do this, and then we do that, and then we do that, and then we do that.
Hmm.
It's like you're like, oh yeah, in your head you think about this combo play where by the end it's like a 6 point combo
Yeah,
that is so
exactly. Yeah,
big.
it's the all right. We're doing the RP. It's gonna be an ET ult. On top of it, there's Nether Toxin. All heroes are silenced. There's multi shot. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of unrealistic. That's not really how the fights play out.
No, and it just felt like the Spectre was the ultimate counter to all that. Like we said, it ruins your
Hmm.
counter initiation. It forces easy initiation for HellRaisers. And you said they compartmentalize, right? Like you can have a Lina, Avenge, or you can have a Rubik, and you can have a Void Spirit. And then, of course, separate from both of those entities is a Spec that can always just show up. And as a result, HellRaisers, they make it look pretty clean as they take game one, but that's only the first one. We're going to hit a short break. We're going to sip on some cool, refreshing Monster. And when we return, we'll see if we're going to have another 2-0 and the day is just cursed, or if we're going to get some
Hmm.
real back and forth action here.